Okay, welcome to the June 1st Thursday chat. And we have a few announcements before we get to Matt. And they're always here. Terrific. I didn't see you a minute ago. Marilyn Stone.
Hi, everybody. This Saturday at 2:00 in the afternoon in Great Meadow Hall, the Community Life Team and the Hospitality Committee are planning an afternoon of bingo. Please come. We have some food, terrific prizes, and Sharon and I promise will entertain. So see you Saturday.
Will promise to what?
Entertain.
Pardon me?
Oh, okay. Barbara Nadich.
Hi, everyone. I am the representative of Milcra, better known as the Massachusetts Life Care Residents Association. This is a statewide organization which acts not only as a lobbying group for the legislature to help seniors, but it also allows all of the CCRCs, better known as the continuing care retirement communities, and also any other retirement communities throughout Massachusetts, to exchange ideas, to educate seniors in the various CCRCs about the laws concerning seniors, and advocating for any sort of development and passage of state and federal legislation which will benefit all of our CCRCs and their residents. The Milcra was started in 1998 when CCRCs were becoming popular, and it's been very successful, excuse me, in getting legislation done through their lobbying group. They obviously get support for their membership and their expenses through any sort of membership from individual communities. It's a mere $15 to join. It's good for a year. And if you're interested, no pressure. If you're interested, there will be these brochures down at the concierge desk so you can fill them out and get them going. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Lori Feldman.
Thanks, Jerry. Hi, everyone. I wanted to announce that there is a new low vision group here at Newbridge that will be meeting monthly. So if you are living with low vision, the group is a place to share your experiences, resources that you've come across and found helpful, and we'll occasionally bring in some experts to educate us on new assistive technology to aid with daily functioning. We meet monthly on the first Monday of the month. So the next meeting will be this coming Monday, June 5th at 1 p.m. in the library reading room. So please feel free to share the information about this group with your friends and neighbors at Newbridge who have already shared with you that they have vision changes. One more quick announcement on another support group note. The next caregiver support group will be next Thursday, June 8th. So we meet the second Thursday of every month at 1 p.m., also in the library reading room. If you're caring for a spouse, partner, or another family member, and you'd like to be with other supportive and caring residents who are doing the same, please come to this group. So feel free to give me a call or send me an email to RSVP or with any questions or ideas on either of these groups. Thank you.
Thanks, Lori. And Joshua Ferraro.
Thanks, Jerry. Good afternoon, everyone. I just have a couple of brief announcements. The first that I want to communicate is you will start to see communication in the foodie about some seasonal items, both starting some outdoor seating plans, future barbecues, adding some seasonal items such as corn on the cob into the menus. So between this foodie tomorrow and next week's foodie, you will start to see communication about that. Staying on the lines of communication, I want to let everyone know that members of the Third Plus dining consulting team that we have been working with will be on site June 15th and 16th. They plan to be on this Zoom call, at least one of the representatives, Scott Daniels, on this Zoom call on the 15th to give some communication updates and some Q&A. And then working with the team Thursday and Friday until they depart Friday afternoon. So I wanted everyone to be aware that there'll be some communication coming that week from Third Plus directly. And then finally, I wanted to communicate, I will be taking a short medical leave for a procedure starting June 12th. My recovery is anticipated to be about 4 to 6 weeks out of work. And through the support of members of my team, including Lynette, Chef Eileen, and Patrick, and the entire team, as well as Jessica Coleman and Matthew Hollingshead, there will be plenty of support to overtake and see to my daily duties during my absence. And my phone and email will have communication instructions. If you don't know who to contact and you email me, there'll be some instructions on how you can get in touch with someone to answer any questions or to address any concerns. So that's it for me today, Jerry. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, Josh. So Matt, it's all yours.
Jerry, I think that's record time, 6 minutes in and it's my turn. Usually we get to have a little bit of coffee or hang out for a bit, but I want to start today's call with an acknowledgement. Something fairly rare happened over the last week and a half, which is we've lost 4 members of our community. And we are a community, we're family. And when something like this happens, it impacts all of us. So I just want to take a moment to recognize those individuals. I'm not going to say their names because I don't want to start a precedent that we can't uphold. But just as a community, I want to acknowledge that, you know, we're hurting. And there are spouses out there that are hurting. And this is where community shines. It's where we support one another, where we lift each other up, and where we share the love. So I just want to take a moment just to express that, you know, it's a tough thing. And it's just as tough for us as staff as it must be for all of you as residents. You're family to us. We spend more time with many of you than we do with our own families at home. And so just know that we're here for you as you are for each other. And we're going to move forward and keep making this the best community possible. From the COVID side of the shop, we continue to be in great shape. No COVID cases here on campus. In the state itself, there's about 5 cases per 100,000 individuals, which is down 25% in the last 2 weeks. So that's excellent. Again, that means that our risk right now here in Massachusetts is as low as it has been throughout basically the entire pandemic. The news is a little bit better even in our county. We're down to 3.6 cases per 100,000 individuals. Again, 3.6 individuals out of 100,000 are testing positive for COVID, which is just incredible. So doesn't mean drop your guard necessarily, but it means that this is a good time to take some of those risks and do some of those things that you might not otherwise do. Again, people aren't testing like they were, but I think the time of year really helps because people are outside and vaccinations and whatnot. So any questions on COVID before I move on?
Don't see anything.
Excellent. We keep going. All right, I'm going to bring up a topic which is going to probably inspire a lot of conversation because I have heard about this for years and years on end. And this goes out to our furry 4-legged friends that we see around the campus, the dogs. All right. So this is specifically out there for all the dog owners. Please, please, please make sure you pick up after your dog. This week, 2 dogs had an accident on the link here within the building on the way to Centro. You have to pick up after your dog. Part of the responsibility of living an independent living, if you choose to have an animal, is that your responsibility is to take care of that animal. So please do so. At the same time, we're working so hard on the landscaping. And when your dog goes to the bathroom on the landscaping, all the hard work that we put into it and the water and the care and all that other stuff goes right out the window. So please be mindful of that. I know we're busy and things happen, but it is really, really important. Jess Coleman is going to be working with David Rader and figuring out how the dog DNA testing is going and who's going to own that responsibility now that David has shifted over into the sales role. This is one of those things. Everybody loves dogs until it goes to the bathroom on your property, or destroys a plant, or leaves you a surprise in the middle of the bridge when you're walking to dinner. So we got to do what we have to do. This is one of the facts of life when it comes to living in community. So just know that we're on this. It is an issue that needs to be addressed right now. And then the other piece of the pie is when we have people come from outside the campus that walk their animals here as well. And we'll be dealing with them as well. So not a fun topic. It'll be in my letter as well. But I guess the good news is it means we're here and it's springtime and people are outside and they're enjoying themselves. So take the good and take it with the bad. But from an administration standpoint, we are fully aware and we're in the process of handling it. I'm almost afraid to do this, but any questions about dogs?
So far, you're batting 1,000. No.
Right. Along the same lines, I mentioned landscaping a moment ago, and I see one hand up. Oh, it disappeared.
It just took
Oh,
it
back up.
Anna, you have something? Anna Marcus, you put your hand up and then dropped it.
I just want to remind people that aides are also responsible if they're taking dogs out.
Thank you, Anna. I appreciate it. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but it really can be. If you step in it or destroy something, or a staff member has to get called off whatever task they're working on to deal with that, it's frustrating. So please do your part, and we appreciate it. Landscaping. I can say that on average, we probably get minimally 10 calls a day about landscaping somewhere. So I make this request. It is springtime. We're of course going into summer right now. The New England season is a short one. Oftentimes you go right from winter right into summer. Usually spring is like this very small window. The team's doing the best they can. Feel free to call and put in the work orders that you request. It's gonna take time. This is a 162-acre campus. If we lived in Florida, we'd have 365 days a year to tackle this. But just remember back to when you were living in your private homes. You couldn't turn the water on until the freeze cycle was over. So then you turn the water on. Then all of a sudden now you're planting grass and you're getting the greenery to come back up around that area. Then you're dealing with all the mulch beds and making sure the weeds don't come up. Then from there, you're trimming back all the things that need to be trimmed back. And then finally, you get to the place where you're planting and your maintenance and all that stuff. It's a much bigger process when you have 162 acres to handle. So just a little perspective for the community. Kevin, AQPS, Fernando, they're all over it. This place, as far as I'm concerned, already looks better than it did last year when we had the drought conditions and the irrigation problems. We're on our way. I think it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. Again, please put in your work orders to One Stop Shop, but a little bit of patience would be greatly appreciated. We're going to get there. It's going to be magnificent.
You have a question from Barbara Nagich.
Two things, actually, to add an addendum to what Anna said. We have a lot of dog walkers in the community as well who walk 2 and 3 dogs at a time. So they need to be cognizant of where the dogs are that they're walking. Second of all, Matt, you just gave us one heck of a reason for wanting to live here. We do not have to deal with the landscaping ourselves. Thank you.
You're not kidding. Even in my house. I finally gave in this year and I hired somebody to cut our grass, and I got home last night and there's 2 bald spots where they spun out the lawnmower tires and ripped the grass out. And you can imagine what I heard about during dinner. So, but thank you, Barbara, appreciate that. Cottage maintenance, we've started doing cottage maintenance on the air conditioners. And so that process began. It's gonna continue on Monday, and on Monday, it'll be cottages 24, 26, 29, and 31. This process is gonna continue to go through all the way through Monday, the 12th. So if you don't have the flyer that tells you what the date is that maintenance is coming to do preventative maintenance, I will request that we send it out again in my letter tomorrow, so you'll have a copy of it. And as a reminder, if you're not going to be home, please notify One Stop Shop and either give them permission to enter or just ask them to come back at a later time.
Harry Union, you had a question? You're muted.
Oh, sorry. You can unmute me.
You're okay. You're all set. Go ahead. No, gee.
Unmute. Okay. So I have two questions. One has to do with the air conditioning, because yesterday, when a couple of people from maintenance were here, they told me they were not coming into the cottage, that air conditioning units are outside and they wouldn't need to enter. So which is correct? Are they going to be coming in, or are they going to be just outside?
Thank you, Terry. I'm going to hand it over to our expert here. Fernando, are you on the line?
Yes, I am. I can take that. Terry, we're kind of ahead of the schedule. So what we've been doing is we're getting ahead of ourselves and we're doing all the outside work. But on the days that they're scheduled to be at your cottage, they will be coming inside.
And what will they be doing? Looking at the thermostats?
Yeah, checking the thermostats, and also there's a unit inside there that they'll be changing the filters on and cleaning as well.
Okay, thank you. And the other question has to do with the grounds, and I just want to make a shout out for Kevin. I don't know, what other people's experience have been with him, but I've always found him very helpful and willing to work with me when it comes to the plantings out around my cottage. And so, from my viewpoint, he does a good job.
Thanks, Terry. He certainly tries his best.
Yeah.
It can be challenging.
We have Marsha Vanicelli. Go ahead.
Hi, am I unmuted?
Marsha?
Hi.
Yeah, you're all set.
So should we contact Kevin directly or One Stop?
One Stop Shop, please.
Okay, now the problem with One Stop is every time I put it in, I get a message saying that you have to be authorized to use it.
Which is very odd because I talked to Sarah about that and she had stated that she got your emails, even though you were getting that response.
Right. Am I the only one getting that kind of odd response?
Anybody else want to?
It seems like Larry and I are kind of jinxed. Somehow our communications into the system are not doing well. Okay, well, I'm glad the message gets through. So it's hard to tell when you get a message back like that.
I bet.
Thank
Well,
you.
you always know how to get me if you need something.
Okay, yes, I do. Thanks.
Thanks, Marsha. And then I want to just speak a couple moments about Josh taking some time. So we have a really good plan in place. We have two very strong employees. First is Chef Eileen, and second is Patrick Goyu, the chef that you see in Centro. The two of them will be stepping up and helping to assume some of the responsibilities that Josh has while Josh is out. And I'll, of course, be supporting, and Jess Coleman will be supporting, and we have a really good team. My request is when Josh is out, follow the same protocols that you would normally. So if you have a question for Josh, his number will direct you where to call. If you come directly to me, I will help you. I just might be a little slower than the person that's actually in the weeds doing the work, because I have to go in this roundabout fashion to go find the person who's responsible, ask the question. It becomes a game of telephone at that point. So I just encourage you all, we're setting up the process to make sure that this whole thing works smoothly while he is out. And I'm also very excited to have Third Plus back on site. They're going to give us a good update as a community about what has been completed so far, as well as what you can expect in the future. Right now, we've done a ton of work, basically foundational work, on getting everything set up for the changes that you're going to see and feel. But before we could even get to that place, there was so much that we had to do in the background. So Scott Daniels from Third Plus is going to highlight all that information for you all. He'll probably talk about what's gone well, what hasn't gone so well, and where we're going in the future. So do what we do best as a community. Feel free to ask them any questions you have. We're in this thing together, so we'll find our way through. And so with that, I'm just going to open it up to any general questions since we're a little bit early. We have a little bit of time on our hands.
Well, that means we've been doing a good job. You know, Maya Fine, you had said to me earlier you had a question. All right.
Yes, I did. I was wondering what the status of the waterfall in Nosh is.
Waiting for Fernando to unmute.
Actually, since the pool, we shut down the pool, we shut it down. We can always restart it. I guess that's the best answer I can get you. We just haven't restarted it because no one's really asked about it. And it's easy to maintain when it's not running.
Yeah, I figured the reason you shut it down was to clean it, because you do that periodically, but since it hasn't been cleaned, that's what prompted my question.
Well, and I think at some point we'll have to make a decision about what we do with the waterfall. Do we continue with a water feature and update it? Do we do a live living wall there instead? There's going to be some options because that water slowly deteriorates that wall, as you can tell, Mayor, and just destroys it over time, becomes an eyesore.
Well, it's not pretty now. So,
Yeah, understood.
Okay, so Barbara Nadich and then Judy Goldman.
Josh, are you still there?
Yes, Barbara.
Wish you well. and
Thank you.
And fast and easy recovery.
Thank you.
Yes, Josh, very fast, very easy.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Super fast, Josh.
Okay, Judy Goldman, then Stan Treitman.
My question is for Fernando. The poison ivy along the walkway from the president's house to the resident garden is creeping closer to the sidewalk. And I'd appreciate it if they could take a look at it and do something about it.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll take a look at it. If it's creeping towards the sidewalk, we will trim it back.
Thank you.
And I wonder if it's the mild winter because I'm having this issue at my house as well. The poison ivy has grown a lot more than it usually does.
Okay, Stan Treitman.
I was just wondering if there's going to be the umbrella will be replaced on the table in the courtyard between the 4,000 and 3,000 building.
Yeah, we can put one out there. Absolutely.
Okay, Bob
Thank-
Brown. Bob Brown.
Yeah, I have a question. What happened to the ping pong table?
Good question, Bob. The ping pong table, I believe Josh, and help me out here if this is part of yours, got moved to make more seats in the winter garden. And part of the Third Plus recommendation and the future changes that are going to happen there.
Yeah, that's correct. That was exactly, Matt. You had it right. That was a recommendation from Third Plus. David could speak. I don't know if he's on the call to where it ended up. Joel had taken that on, was assigned that project, worked with David to move it. And I'm sorry to report that I don't recall where it was moved to.
Are you there, David? Let me see.
It was moved to the art room, but I don't know if it's still in there or not, to be quite honest with you, but that's where it initially had been moved to.
All right, we'll have more information next week. Paul Chavensky.
I do have an answer on the question.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so it is stored in the closet by the art room at this time.
Okay, well, I don't know what you have to say about that, Matt. Will it be back in?
Well, Bob will deliver it to your place.
Yeah, how about outside under one of the things? We can always fold it up when you're going to give a barbecue or something like that.
We can talk about it.
I know. I'm just giving a suggestion.
Yeah. I'm willing to explore any option.
Jerry B. Bello has been raising her hand.
Okay, she'll be right after Paul Chavinsky. Go ahead, Paul.
There's a dead tree being propped up just in this, I think it's the southeast corner of the garden. And it's just, it's no big deal, but it just detracts from the general beauty of that area, which is very lovely.
If I can comment on that, I mean, this is the best example of why you use one-stop shop. This is the first I'm hearing about it. If you see something like that out there, you know, contact One Stop Shop. A work order gets generated, and then we can look at these things. Otherwise, we don't know.
Yep. And just for general knowledge, we're walking the garden next week, I believe, with the horticulturalist. So we'll be able to go through and put eyes on pretty much everything.
Okay, B. Bello and then Arthur Luskin.
I'm wondering, there are, just in case some people can't hear or be around to hear what 3D has to say when they come here, will you tape it and maybe run it besides the Saturday 9/18 broadcast so that everybody can hear what they have to say?
It does. They're taped and they are available to you. And Larissa sends a link out to that you can go on to our YouTube library. So
okay, well, everybody should be
able to
everybody should be aware that they can hear what they had to say in case they miss it. And I'm just curious what's going to go on with the landscaping between the villas.
So we are working with a couple companies to identify how to put a master plan in place. Because right now, and I've spoke about this before, there's no master plan for landscaping. So we need to have a plan for the entire campus. And then it'll be broken out into zones, and we'll work on each zone in a consequential manner. So we'll start with zone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever it comes out to be. And when we complete it, we'll start again. So I know that doesn't answer your immediate concern right now.
Oh, that's a real eyesore, and it's not nice for even people that drive in here to this area, to the circle.
Yeah.
I'm ashamed for them to see what's there.
Okay, Arthur Luskin.
Am I unmuted? Yes. We got to the meeting late. Am I assuming that the Third Plus gentleman will be reporting next week?
The following week.
So 2 weeks from today?
That's correct, Art.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thanks. Terry Union.
An umbrella in the garden. So the question I have, and you have to ask Victor too, is that so the cottages never got tables with umbrellas. We have a couple of benches after we complained for 3 months, but and I know that Victor's very concerned about our safety, but I just wondered if that could be reviewed. Summer's coming. It'd be nice if people who play tennis can go sit down at a nice table. We have 2 tables that have rotten tops. And anyway, if that's something that can be looked into and approved by Victor, that would, I think, be really nice for the cottage people.
Terry, this is at the clubhouse, just for
Yes,
clarification.
behind the clubhouse.
Okay.
Nobody plays golf there. I've never seen anybody there.
No. Thank you, Terry.
Okay, Barbara Nadich.
I'd like to know if we can take a pair of scissors and cut some of the most beautiful peonies out before they die.
I don't think so.
Barbara, I have no idea how to answer that.
Fernando, can I, well, I'll put that another way. If I sneak out there sometime during the day and I cut some of the peonies so that I can have some of the beautiful ones in my apartment, will it be illegal?
I have a response to that.
Good.
2 years ago, we actually trimmed off the very full-bloomed peonies and put them out for people to take. If there is an interest in that, I think we would not want people to go and just clip them, but we can make some of them available. They're absolutely beautiful. If there are people who are interested in that, why don't you drop me a note, and we're thrilled to do that. But we're just not gonna have people go out and cut the peonies, I don't think.
So
I'm
that-
there.
That's Benita, who was chair of the garden committee or the landscape committee. Okay.
Barbara, you can go cut the lawn, if you'd like.
Ruth Horner, go ahead.
Thanks. I just want to say that I'm sorry that the decision was made to stop people putting planters out around the courtyard. It really was so beautiful before. Some people had invested a lot in decorating with plantings. And I realize in the interest of uniformity, we can't have different planters in different places, but I think it is a sad loss. And
Thank you.
particularly when people in the cottages can have plantings and people around the side areas can have plantings, it seems to me a bit unreasonable. Thank you.
Thank you, Prue. I think that's something that we can certainly talk about. I don't know if it's something that we can change this year, because we are now deep into it. And it would have to be something that would be changed in the resident handbook. But that's where I'll work with some of the leadership here from the resident side of the NMA.
Okay, Anna
But I hear you.
Benita, I'm all for cutting some peonies.
Okay.
And just for clarity, just so everybody knows, that decision, although unpopular, is stated in the handbook and it talks about it. And it just takes a handful of people to call attention to it. And then we have to, abide by the letter of the law that's written there. So if we're going to make changes and whatnot, we can do that together as a community for the future. But it's going to go to the community.
Any other questions? Well, I guess we went through a lot of good questions today with time. Thank you very much, everybody. See you all next week.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.